Hello and how's it? I'm Wizard Spider and this is your mini guide to Starvault. Today I will be covering the arena store, and hopefully by the end of this video you will know, or at least have a really good idea of the items you should be focusing on and what it will take for you to get them. Knowing what to buy, where to buy it and when to buy it can make all the difference in you getting a good start to the match and building into a well-rounded OP individual. So let's get into it. Accessing the store can be done in two ways, both using the X button. Firstly, at your team's main base there is a designated area where you need to stand. This is where you spawn at the start of a battle. You can identify this area by the large floating orb. You do not have to interact with the orb to access the store, just be within the hexagonal. The other is through an item which we will cover in just a moment that lets you open the store no matter where you are. When you open the store you can see your purchasable cards on display. The categories are on the right, and at the bottom you have your inventory slots. These 5 slots are reserved for the cards bought from the defense, attack and wisdom categories, while for the active and consumable categories they have their own 3 slots shared between the two. In the categories we have defense offering resistances and survivability, attack with cards to boost damage and add status effects, wisdom offering utility, active which has reusable cards giving you even more abilities, and consumables which are consumed on use for a temporary assist on the field. Once you have enough currency, which you can see on the bottom left just under your hit points, you can purchase the card you want by simply picking it up and dropping it into an inventory slot. You will see your inventory slots change when switching to the other set of categories. Some cards can be purchased multiple times, either adding more uses or leveling up the card. To upgrade your cards, click on the plus sign just under the inventory slot where the card is located. Currently all cards that can be upgraded up to 5 times, with each upgrade costing the same as the initial price. If you no longer need a card, you can sell it by opening the store, picking up the card and dropping it on the bin icon on the right of the inventory slots. This does not outright delete your card, but sells it so you get back some credits which you can use for the next item. Once your cards are bought and the store is closed, you can see what you have by pressing and holding the B button. This is also how you use your consumables and actives. Press and hold B, then hover over the card you want to activate and press the trigger button. Now let's take a look at the cards. Omni Ward, 1000 crystals, grants 4% immunity to all damage types, can be upgraded 5 times, total upgrade cost of 5000 crystals for a maximum of 20% immunity. Energy Ward, 500 crystals, grants 4% immunity to energy damage, can be upgraded 5 times for a total upgrade cost of 2500 crystals for a maximum of 20% immunity. Void Shield, 600 crystals, grants 4% immunity to void damage, can be upgraded 5 times for a total upgrade cost of 3000 crystals for a maximum of 20% immunity. Thorn Aura, 700 crystals, 10% chance to knock back a melee attacker when damaged, can be upgraded 5 times, total upgrade cost of 3500 crystals for a maximum of 50% chance. Arcane Veil, 500 crystals, grants 4% immunity to arcane damage, can be upgraded 5 times for a total upgrade cost of 2500 crystals for a maximum of 20% immunity. Blast Guard, 500 crystals, grants 4% immunity to explosive damage, can be upgraded 5 times, total upgrade cost of 2500 crystals for a maximum of 20% immunity. Vampirism, 3000 crystals, 10% of primary attack damage returned to shield energy. Once off purchase. Shield Extender, 1000 crystals, increases maximum shield energy by 500 units, can be upgraded 5 times for a total upgrade cost of 5000 crystals for a maximum of 2500 extra shield. Fury Glyph, 1000 crystals, increases attack power by 5%, can be upgraded 5 times for a total upgrade cost of 5000 crystals for a maximum of 25% attack power. Silence Glyph, 2,500 crystals, 15% chance to mute an enemy with your attack for 2.5 seconds, no more than once every 10 seconds, once off purchase. Near attack increase, 1,300 crystals, all attacks with the target in range of 10 meters are increased by 10%, once off purchase. Stun shard, 3,000 crystals, 15% chance to stun an enemy with your attack for 1.5 seconds, no more than once every 10 seconds, once off purchase. Slow burn, 1,300 crystals, 15% chance to slow down an enemy by 25% with your attack for 5 seconds, no more than once every 10 seconds, once off purchase. Distance attack increase, 1,300 crystals, all attacks of the target with range greater than 10 meters are increased by 10%, once off purchase. Fortune Rune, 500 crystals, increased currency gain by 5%, can be upgraded 5 times, total upgrade cost of 2,500 crystals for a maximum of 25% increase. Pathfinder's Eye, 300 crystals, expands minimap view distance around the player by 20%, can be upgraded 5 times for a total upgrade cost of 1,500 crystals for a maximum of 100% increased view. Wisdom Glyph, 400 crystals, increase XP gain by 3.5%, can be upgraded 5 times for the total upgrade cost of 2,000 crystals for a maximum of 17.5% increased XP gain. Meditech Amplifier, 500 crystals, increased heal power by 5%, can be upgraded 5 times for a total upgrade cost of 2,500 crystals for a maximum of 25% increased heal. Phoenix Stone, 3,000 crystals, instantly respawns the player upon death, cooldown 10 minutes, once off purchase, does not get consumed on use, and you will respawn back at your base. Haste Rune, 700 crystals, increased movement speed by 5%, can be upgraded 5 times for a total upgrade cost of 3,500 crystals for a maximum of 25% increased speed. Phantom Spring, 500 crystals, shop menu is available anywhere on the map by pressing X, a once off purchase. Homeward Ruin, 1,250 crystals, recalls you to the base, takes 2.5 seconds to cast and will be interrupted if you take damage during the process. Cooldown of 5 minutes, once off purchase. Pinpoint Shark, 4,000 crystals, stuns one target on next attack for 2 seconds, cooldown 60 seconds, once off purchase. Kinetic Surge, 3,000 crystals, boosts speed by 30% for 5 seconds, cooldown 60 seconds, once off purchase. Purge Matrix, removes control effects and grants immunity for 8 seconds, cooldown 60 seconds, once off purchase. Nullfield, 4,000 crystals, grants invincibility for 4 seconds, cooldown 60 seconds, once off purchase. Overcharge, 4,000 crystals, boosts attack by 30% for 5 seconds, cooldown 60 seconds, once off purchase. Oblivion, 2,000 crystals, triggers an explosion upon death, dealing 7,000 damage to all enemies within a 15-meter radius. Once off purchase, will get consumed on use. Farm Booster, 300 crystals, boosts attack on creeps by 50% for 30 seconds, can be stacked 5 times, total stack cost of 1,500 crystals, each stack is consumed on use. Shield Patch, 200 crystals, recharges shield by 30% in 30 seconds, interrupted if you take damage, can be stacked 5 times for a total stack cost of 1,000 crystals, each stack is consumed on use. So with all these cards to pick from, what's the best? When you start the round, you have 600 credits you can use to buy your first item. The items you can get right away are these here. So with such a selection, what do you get? The most popular option at the moment is Phantom Spring, allowing you to purchase items anytime, anywhere on the map. The idea is that if you are not on the battlefield, you are not getting XP, pushing lanes or earning credits. This item allows you to continue farming while getting your next card right away. So what's the next item? Well, let's look at some basic starter builds. Keep in mind though that this is purely preference, as everyone has their own unique style of playing. So experiment and pick what works for you. Also, some items will not work for certain heroes, so it would be pointless getting them. I'm looking at you, HBV. A simple starter build would look something like this. We have the Phantom Spring as explained earlier and the Wisdom Glyph to help boost your levels, unlocking your hero skills much faster while getting the stat boosts that come with those levels. Now Fortune Glyph I would say is more beneficial on a melee character as the crystals dropped are right at your feet ready to be picked up. Again, this is just a general guide. I would also suggest buying items you have not bought before and see if you can feel the difference in how they help you. Upgrading items should be dependent on what is happening in game. If your levels are low, start leveling Wisdom. If you are playing defensive and are unable to push, then there is no point in leveling Fortune as you are not collecting crystals. If you are struggling with getting the green artifacts, then build a little into Haste Rune to make sure you are able to catch your enemy. Once we have made a little progress, we can start looking at our next set of items. Again, this will be dependent on how the game is going. Some great general items are Omni Ward if you are struggling to stay alive, and Fury Ward if you are struggling to do damage. When it comes to resistances, this is where the more experienced builds come in. Omni Ward offers protection to all damages, but if you know what damage your opponent is putting out, then you can counter build against that with a more focused resistance against the damage type. Late game, there are some really game changing items that can turn the tide of battle, but I'll get into that at a later stage. For now, please accept this as a general guide and I urge you to experiment and find a good rhythm to your purchases. Find what works for your characters and in no time at all you will master the store. Thank you so much for watching this and I hope it helps you in at least some way. Stay epic, stay awesome, and see you in the battle arena.